As Tech Mahindra approaches its 40th anniversary, its marketing function is evolving alongside the company's push towards an AI first, innovation led future. After refreshing its visual identity last year, the company has now introduced a sonic identity built around its scale at speed philosophy. On that note, we have the company's CMO Peeyush Dubey discuss the thinking behind the sonic identity, the role of AI in brand building, and how marketing is linked to business outcomes. On that note, a very warm welcome, Mr. Dubey.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Soumya.
All right. So very recently, as we are aware, Tech Mahindra has introduced a sonic identity called the Tech M Ting. And not to flatter you, but I absolutely love the name. After having refreshed the brand identity last year, why do you think this was really the right moment to extend the brand into sound?
Soumya, I think it's a wonderful time to think about for any activity that a new brand does. And after our refresh that we did, we felt that now it is the right opportunity for us to think of a sonic identity as well, because the world is now interacting with us in so many different formats. It is not just in the form of a red word or something that they can see, but also what they hear, and whether it's through a podcast or through the reels or through videos on LinkedIn, which are much more prominent now than ever. And so there is always an opportunity to create a new form of interaction with our stakeholders, our clients, and others, where they don't see us. If we recently launched a new podcast, All Signal No Noise, and as we build more of the audience for that podcast and other of our touch points, it was important for us to create this new form of interaction as well. And very happy that Techem Ting is now there to elevate that experience. And I do welcome you, Soumya, to hear it in all its forms, the small 5 second, the
Sure.
15 second, and the longer version as well. So
Sure, sure. My only feedback is that I absolutely love it. I heard the longer version and I absolutely love it.
thank you so much.
So
Thank
brownie
you.
points there.
That's amazing.
Okay, so sir, how do you really think that this sonic identity will translate your philosophy into an audio experience, so to say? And what role do you expect it to play across, the different touch points that you have?
So we took a long time to think about this identity and to see what are the different points, how it resonates with what our promise of scale at speed is all about.
Yeah.
And as we think of that scale at speed, and if you see as we talk about that TechM as the ascending force. And so the Techem thing slowly rises to that level and ends with a crescendo. The Mogo itself, which is the musical logo, the short version of it that ends any video or any podcast that we have, has that very clear sound which raises the bar for us. And that's the basic idea of how it resonates with our overall brand promise of a scale at speed. We are, if I have silenced my phone for this interview, but if somebody calls me when it is on, you would have heard a wonderful ringtone as well, which goes for 30 seconds. And once again, reminds most of our computers in the office now, when you start, there is a wonderful Tekem Ting sound as well. So those interactions just create a new experience and make the brand stronger. And that's why the whole idea of how it can resonate with the philosophy of scale at speed and the ascending force is how we thought of this.
Sure, well taken. With this, sir, you describe the sonic identity as, something which is built for the AI era. So we know that Tech Mahindra has been repositioning itself as an AI first, innovation-led technology partner. How are you ensuring that the brand promise really translates into tangible customer perception?
There are many ways. So the brand promise, for example, as we think of AI, the strategy that we have launched is called AI delivered right. Now, AI delivered right is very important for all enterprises in the world. At Tech Mahindra, we work with more than 1,000 clients ourselves, and we keep adding new clients. We have heard that most of them have one single challenge: how to implement AI solutions in a way that they also align with everything else that they have been doing. Between Mohit actually explains it very well. When we are an individual, it's easy. It's like a canoe, and we can just row our boat and go wherever. But if it's a large enterprise, it's like a cruise ship. It takes time. Lot many people have to come. A small turn leads to a huge difference by the morning, and that's how every enterprises has have been talking to us, saying that while there is AI at the individual level, at the enterprise level, we need a partner who can deliver it right, who can bring it all together. And as a leading GSI, as a leading global system integrator, Tech Mahindra is very well placed to deliver AI right. And that's the strategy of AI delivered right that we have been talking about. And that has four pillars to it: productivity delivered right, transformation delivered right, innovation delivered right, and assurance delivered right. And each one of those areas build that larger promise of making sure that the AI in the enterprises delivers to the promise that companies want it to work for.
All right, sure. With this, I would want you to, help us understand a little bit about TechM's marketing mix. How has it really evolved over time? Are you allocating more resources to digital experiences, thought leadership, or own media? Give us a sense and also a split between your traditional and digital media, if you can.
Absolutely. So I think maybe I'll start with the last question first. And at some point time, we did not we stopped distributing the brand as traditional or digital. Everything is integrated pretty much. So that's the first thing, that it's not happening in the silos, that okay, here is something which we will not be able to measure, and here is something where there's a different metric. So everything is at the higher level where we can do everything in an integrated way. Now going to the earlier question on how the marketing mix is shifting. Now that's very important. So one part before I talk about how it is shifting is important to note that at Tech Mahindra we always allocate a small proportion of our budget for innovation. Now, these are the kind of activities as the world is changing. There are new tools for marketers which help them adopt AI faster. We do want to make sure that we try them. We have pilots going on all the time. So that is one of the important aspects of the marketing mix, that there is always something for innovation, to try something new that hasn't been tried, and do many more pilots. So that's one part of the marketing mix, which especially has happened over the last couple of years. But other than that, we are moving more and more towards digital, in a way that even the events that we do, the conferences, the trade shows, the symposiums, we are able to measure the effectiveness and the returns that they have a lot more, because now a simple example, for example, how do we measure the meetings at the events? And so we launched an app which allows us to schedule meetings well in advance,
Okay.
and then make sure that our executives who are traveling to a particular event or a conference get the right briefing notes at the right time, and also then measure the effectiveness of the meeting immediately after it is done. And so with those kind of digital touch points for even the traditional investment, it is making us it's making it possible for us to measure them even better. So that's the broad idea of how it is digital. A little bit more, if I double click on the marketing mix itself, first, the biggest distribution is between people and programs. And so different companies have different proportion of how much budget would go to programs and how much to people. For a very people-oriented company and for an industry which is all around human beings, I think that proportion is very important as well. So we look at the talent density, building the right talent density in the team as a very important activity of the marketing mix. Now, beyond that, a lot of it starts with the thought leadership, and that always remains the case, right? And so the first part of the marketing mix is the thought leadership. How do we make sure that we are able to talk about the solutions that we are launching in a way that our clients understand them and it resonates with all our stakeholders? And if we look at that, then all other marketing mix follows. As I started with saying that a lot of it is changing to digital. So we look at dissemination of a thought leadership in something that I call read, watch, and listen. And that is the basis of how the marketing mix is changing. A lot of it used to be read few years ago, an 8-page PDF or a case study or something. More and more, we are seeing that our audience is not spending that much time in reading long form of content, and they
Correct.
would like to either watch it in a video, as you and I are talking right now, which is definitely reflecting the trend that I'm sure BW Marketing also is observing. And also, they want to listen to it. In many cases, since I have the face for the podcast, therefore it is very easy for everybody to just listen to this video rather than. And so we see that more and more of this mix is changing to watching and listening, and that is how we are also shifting.
Understood. With this, help me with a ballpark figure of your media budget. How does that really look like?
So media budget, if I could give you a broad sense, Soumya, I think it normally works in the percentages.
Yeah.
So the first level is the marketing budget. How does it work on the marketing level? And typically, for a technology company, it can range anywhere from 0.5% of the overall revenue to 5% of the revenue. For a product company, it could even be more. And then, depending on where the company decides, based on the cycle that they are in, based on what the marketing requirements are right now, based on where the team is capable to invest them at the right level, then we decide how much of it goes into media, owned media, earned media, and paid media,
Correct.
and the shared media as well. And so based on that, that mix is decided. In a given year, it changes. Sometimes we focus, if we have to build more of our own assets, then we first focus on more of the owned media, which could be website or others. Once that part is done, we focus more on how we can go into earned media. So if you look at it right now, Tech Mahindra recently crossed 8 million followers on LinkedIn. It's a good reflection of punching way beyond our weight and to make sure that our audience there is also engaging with us the way. So those are some of the changes that we do without going into specific percentages, which of course I can share with you. That's the broad idea in which how we decide that.
Sure, understood. As an extension to this, TechM has been investing in properties like Global Chess League and Mahindra Racing. So, what role do you think that owned IPs play in a B2B marketing strategy, and how do you measure this impact on business outcomes?
So let's look at one. The both of them are very different properties, and I'll talk about both of them in terms of how marketers can leverage them. And let's start with Mahindra Racing first. So or Formula E for that matter. In Formula E, Mahindra Racing is one of the leading teams, and Tech Mahindra is one of the key sponsors of that team.
Yes.
Now, that allows us to not only help our clients and meet with our clients in for an activity that they find interesting, they find that resonates with them. It is thrilling. It's a speed. It's a race after all. And so it allows us to create that hospitality based interaction at a very different level. But even more important is the fact that it allows us to think of our own AI-based solutions in a whole different way. Formula E is an activity, Soumya, which is all about data and analytics.
Yeah.
Unlike many other forms of races where the cars have fuel, of course, here it's based on a battery, and it is very important that the driver does not exhaust the battery maybe 100 meters before the finish line.
Yes.
And also at the same point in time, it is very important to take all the power from the car when the race ends. There is no sense in leaving 1% of battery at the finish line either, right? Because you could have gone faster. And therefore, throughout that race, at every second, there are hundreds of sensors which keep sending the data, and based on our own solution that we have created with Mahindra Racing team, we decide what is the right time to speed up or slow down and when is the time to cross. And so this is a great way in which we showcase our capability of using data analytics, which of course many enterprises can use. And finally, it's also reflects our promise for a sustainable future,
Sure.
because it's much more. So that's all about Formula E. And allows us to showcase in different ways how we work with our clients, how we can work with our prospects at different races, how we can show our promise of sustainability, and how we can showcase our capabilities of data and analytics and AI solutions. So that's something like how a Mahindra Racing kind of partnerships helps us. A global chess league is a whole different game because it's a property that we run on our own. Global chess league is Tech Mahindra is the title sponsor, and
Mm.
also Tech Mahindra Global Chess League is a subsidiary of Tech Mahindra, and that showcases a very strong uh, trait of Tech Mahindra, which is the whole thing about entrepreneurship. It's very typical of a company to sponsor a chess league, a chess tournament, or a chess game. When Tech Mahindra started it, we felt that we should be doing it on our own. So we started this as a league to make chess more accessible. Chess is often seen as a game which can only be played by more brainy and intellectual people, and we wanted to make it more accessible to everybody. And so the whole format in the forms of 6 leagues that we have, making sure that leagues are very inclusive. It's the only league of chess where men, women, and prodigies play together in a team. And so it converts chess from a very individual sport to a team sport, which many of the grandmasters tell us that this is the only time that I actually play together with entire team. Otherwise, it's so individual as a sport, and I we really enjoy playing it together. And so that's the change that we are building into it. And when it comes to Tech Mahindra as a brand association, it really helps us because Tech Mahindra is a technology consulting company. And chess is always about strategy, intellect, and rigor. And so it is just the right brand association for us. Also, one where we do not compete with many other companies. This is a platform that Tech Mahindra pretty much owns as a space. And that's one of the ways in which we are able to differentiate both with Mahindra Racing kind of partnership and Global Chess League partnership.
Sure, sure, understood. With this, I've often heard you saying that marketing should reduce friction for sales rather than a function as a cost center. How do you measure marketing's contribution to revenue inside Tech M, and what KPIs define success for your team?
Okay. Now that possibly is one of the most important questions, of course, relevant to me, but to any marketer. How do they define? First of all, it depends on what the company requires, what the board members need, what the CEO requires from the marketing team to do. But at the same point in time, there are some ways in which we can define it, which make it easier. So I call those KPIs at 3 levels. The first is immediate, second is intermediate, and third is ultimate. So now the immediate metrics are the ones which you can see within a quarter. For example, how is the engagement moving to a social media post? Have we changed our strategy? How we post? Are we more engaging to our audience? Are we more responsive to what they are looking to do? How are they looking at us? And so those kind of metrics, the traffic metrics, or what are typically called the vanity metrics, marketers have the ability to move them in a quarter. The intermediate metrics are more like what is the inbound lead? How many inbound leads are we getting? Right now, for example, when we started our journey, the number of people who would come to the website, prospective clients, and fill up an RFP form wasn't at the level where we would have wanted. And because of the thought leadership investments that I talked about, which is where everything starts, more and more the words start to spread. our clients and our prospects see how we are faring in the analyst ratings and rankings, and so they go to the website and they start filling up the form. Now it does not happen in one quarter, but typically in 3 to 4 quarters within a year, those KPIs start changing. And so it is very important for marketers to have some of those metrics which are in at least 1 year, saying that within 1 year, this is the change that if we consistently do this, this is the change that will happen. And the final and the most important possibly is the ultimate, which the results that happen. And that happens with the way the brand is changing. How is the brand perceived? What is the value of the brand? And of course, we measure it with various partners such as brand finance in our case, and others, and that keeps on. And so typically those metrics change 2 to 3 years to reflect the right way. In our case, for example, as we talked about the brand refresh that we have done last year, the Sonic Identity Techem Ting that we came up with this year, those are the touch points that slowly change the brand value along with the financial performance of the company, which has been amongst the best in among all the peers. And so that's how the ultimate metrics of the brand valuation also changes. So immediate, intermediate, and ultimate. Those are the three KPIs that we look at.
Understood. Well understood. Okay, so sir, beyond the Sonic identity, what are some of the biggest priorities for tech and marketing function over the next, say, 12 to 18 months?
So one, of course, is how we respond to the changes in the world happening, changes in the world and changes in the marketing world happening with AI. As you also must be experiencing, the way that you find information, the way you gather knowledge is changing.
Yes.
What used to be a search always has become more of an AI chatbot now.
Yes.
What used to be, whether it is for to plan a vacation or to book a dinner or to write an email,
Correct.
what we used to, the way we used to do it earlier is changing. And that is also happening in the way how prospective clients and our current clients find potential partners for their technology solutions. So that possibly is one of the most profound shifts.
Correct.
And as we were talking earlier, it's a great time to be seeing a change of that order.
Correct.
And it happens. We should, all of us, to be living in this time, should feel that we are fortunate to be seeing this massive shift in how the world will live as we go forward. So one of the most important things is how do we respond to this shift? And so we, for example, at TechM, we are shortly launching a training program for all the marketers, 6 weeks training program where they will learn more about AI in marketing, but not only AI in marketing generic, but more specific to their function. How does AI changes endless relations or events marketing, or field marketing, social media marketing, thought leadership, for example. And so that possibly is one of the more important shifts that we are making sure that we are getting ready for it. In addition to that, Soumya, we are very proud to be launching some wonderful new programs. We talked about Mahindra Racing Partnership. We talked about Global Chess League. We are also very excited about a strategic marketing program that we launched recently, which we call Tech Mahindra Global India Book Prize. And it is done along with Jaipur Literature Festival. And once again, a prize which will reflect how the authors, both national and international authors based in India or outside, are helping change the perception of India in the world, whether as a technology capital, whether the cultural changes in India, the economic powerhouse that India is becoming. So we have launched this prize along with JLF, Jaipur Literature Festival, to recognize the authors who are shining the right light to the rise of India as well. And we are very excited at Tech Mahindra to be partnering with that very ambitious initiative, which once again reflects our direction of of engaging with platforms which are more intellectual, which change the perception of how India is and how Tech Mahindra is doing. So very excited about that program. And finally, I think we are working very closely with Pininfarina. Pininfarina is a 95-year-old Italian design company which is known all over the world for some of the most iconic automotive designs that they have launched, whether it is for Ferrari or Alfa Romeo. That happens to be a Tech Mahindra company. Tech Mahindra and Mahindra Group have the majority ownership in that. And we are now working on synergizing their solutions of design along with the experience solutions that we have. And so that's a whole other way of how we will launch some new offerings and our clients will understand a entirely different facet of Tech Mahindra. So those are some of the exciting initiatives that will be coming over the next 12 to 18 months.
This sounds wonderful, and my best wishes for all of these. I'm sure you will
Thank you.
ace all of them as usual.
Thank you so much, Soumya.
Okay, sir. So coming down to my last question, we know that Tech Mahindra is entering its fifth decade. What elements of the legacy are you deliberately retaining, and what are you consciously leaving behind?
That is such an important point because for any company which is at the juncture where Tech Mahindra is right now, there are some reasons that get us here, and at the same point in time, there is that ability to change forever, which also keeps us going. So it is very the way I really appreciate the way you have asked the question. What is it that you keep, and what is it that you learn more? So I think in terms of most important thing, and there can be many, but I just want to focus on one that is most important. What we will always keep is this notion of trust.
Hmm.
How do you build relationships that our clients, our large enterprises, all our stakeholders, whether it is talent, can build trust in the brand. So that will always be number one. And along with that, the second thing which is important is this spirit of being a challenger always. Now, that is something that we learn from Mahindra Group as well. Mahindra Group's philosophy of RISE basically tells us that no matter where you are, you should be looking at it as a journey. And you are always getting to some other place. And there is always, for example, if you are the best automaker in India, how do you become the best automaker in the world? If you are the best automaker in the world, how do you become the best plane maker in the world, right? And so there's always a next challenge that you can look at. And at Tech Mahindra, we also believe in the same philosophy on how do we keep rising from one level to the next. Always see that. So those two, trust and the challenger spirit, are the ones that we will always keep. What we will change, what we are consciously changing is how we go to market. Now these can be, for example, when it comes to Tech Mahindra, telecom has been one of the largest verticals for us always. Now, how do we make sure that in addition to being the leader in the communications vertical that we will always be, how do we now take the same spirit to all the other industries that we serve, whether it is banking and financial industry, whether it is manufacturing, energy and utilities. And so we are thinking a lot beyond a single vertical, a single service line, a single geography. And therefore, we will be expanding a lot more as we go forward, which means that we will be accepting different cultures. We will be looking at making sure that we are a lot more inclusive as it comes to the talent, as it comes to what we are talking to our clients about. So I think those are some of the changes on how we go to market, and what we go to market with should always keep changing, and that is something which will change once again.
Sure, understood. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for taking out time on a weekday. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Truly a pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity once again, Soumya.